Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on in our lovely island of Fawnhollow today? And did you notice that number in the top right corner? A 1.110? Is this an update for Animal Crossing? The first one we've had for I don't know how many months it's been now. It is apparently. We've had an update, the summer update. Is it big? No. And I'm going to be pretty blunt with you. Apparently it's got exactly the same content that we had last year, but with the summer fireworks now back in this year, with some additional items. So about the usual that we've seen for the past year. So. I guess we'll check it out, but apart from that, it's business as usual, I think. So hello there everyone, right now in Fawnhollow, it's 3:17 PM on Thursday, July 29th, 2021. Now for today's announcements, we have a new friend on our island. Let's give a big Fawnhollow welcome to Apollo. Congrats Apollo, I'm sure you enjoy island life here. That's all for now, I hope you enjoy the loveliest of lovely days. But yes, if you haven't seen the Animal Crossing news, which to be fair, if you're an Animal Crossing fan, you've probably already seen it. If you're not an Animal Crossing fan and you're watching this video, I guess you're not really here for it in the first place, but I'll tell you anyway. Nintendo have announced that there will be upcoming updates planned for later in the year, and then there was an update for today about summer update or something. I don't really know, but I've heard it's not very big. I think it's just new furniture items like we saw for Bunny Day last year, as well as a repeat of the event we had last year, which is to be expected at this point. I'm so silly, Vitamin D. You know I have a weakness for bath items. When I went shopping a bit ago, and when I saw this, I had to buy it. Alas, it seems I thought the same thing last time I saw it. Oh, well, it's yours now, darling. Seeing double, Amelia. I think I might be new, at least I don't recognise it. So yes, we have all these things on our inventory, which we now need to clear out due to our island hopping. An apron? Perhaps that's new, I don't really recall. Yeah, there's like, fireworks update, I guess. There's probably the stuff about it. Upcoming fireworks show. I hope you join us every Sunday in August for a fireworks show. We'll get things started at 7 PM when it's dark enough. Come and join in and find. Yes. Maybe I'll time travel for that sort of thing. I'm not really sure how that'll come about. If you want to see what a fireworks show is, I suppose you can jump back to last year and you can see exactly what happened with that. Presumably this year it's going to be basically the same thing, but it's, if you started late and you missed out on last year and you didn't want to time travel back for it, now you've got the opportunity to, which is, I'm all for people getting more opportunities, but not gonna lie, as many people have already commented on in the Animal Crossing community, the very slow grind of trying to actually, we probably missed out on a load of posters now I think about it, because we haven't invited a load of people before they've gone. Oh well. The slow grind. I'm waiting for an Animal Crossing update. Like I read through the Animal Crossing thread on Reddit. Like people like, I haven't played for ages. This is not going to get me back in the game. And if that's fair, I understand where people are coming from, and I am in agreement. But I like to keep things a lot more positive about things and hopeful. I guess that's just part of my optimistic, idealistic sort of personality. Actually, I don't think I'm all that optimistic. I like to think of myself as more realistic, but perhaps that's not the case. You'd fight with Claude? Oh, sure, I can do that. Why not? I didn't even look at my Nook Mile missions. I like to remain hopeful about things to come, and hopefully that, it was only just because of a pandemic situation that led to a dearth? Dearth is a lack of, right? Wood, seashells, creatures, rocks. Okay, let's go. Random changing lily. Let's go. Oh, we should actually clear out flowers. I forgot it rained a couple of days ago and we didn't clear it out. A dearth of updates because of a pandemic. Now, later on in the year, everything's actually getting sorted out. And alright, Lily, just like chill out over there, I guess. Oh my god, things are slowly getting sorted out, and updates are rolling in. Hopefully, with an actual steady stream, which is what I was led to believe would happen in New Horizons, until it catches up with New Leaf and hopefully overtakes it in content. And Dragon Drift is still a problem, as you can see, but the only thing we can do is wait. Perhaps it'll be the Fabled Brewsters update, which we've been waiting for quite some time now, or the farming update, or anything like that. I don't know. I wait with bated breath, but I'm not going to get my hopes up just to get them crushed again. So we'll just sort of have to see what happens. I like to keep optimistic about this sort of thing, so yeah. So while, yes, Animal Crossing has definitely not had as many updates as I feel like people have been wishing for, that just is what it is. So yeah, that's my piece on it. It was my 5-minute piece about the update. Hopefully it'll be good, and we'll check out Nooks in a bit just to see what new furniture items we've got going on, because maybe we can start decorating with more stuff again. Oh yeah, I forgot we put a path down, so we got less flowers to deal with. I guess it's probably a sign that we should probably start putting more paths down for the other areas, but I can't be bothered today. Maybe another day. In another day, I would labour paths. I don't know what the song is. Don't comment on it. I guess if anything, we should fill this section up with flowers as well. But you know, that's for future me to figure out instead of me right now. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Wait, who's our visitor? It's not Red. There was no one in the town square, right? So it's a wandering visitor. Probably CJ, I think. I don't think we had him last week, but perhaps I might be misremembering. Yeah, today's actually quite exciting for me personally. I mean, I say quite exciting. It's not like it's a big, a huge, massive event that you might be expecting from what I led you to believe. But I'm having my second dose of a COVID vaccine later today in about a couple of hours or so. No, an hour and a half or so. So, you know, after I thought I'd just, you know, knock out this video, then not get ready for it per se, but, you know, do other stuff and then I suppose get ready for it, and it'll hopefully be fine. I didn't really feel much of effect from the first vaccine. I will say my arm definitely got, like, it ached. It wasn't numb, it just ached, as if I did a big workout that day or something. I didn't have any other side effect. I had a bit of a headache actually, but that's false. I had a bit of a headache afterwards, and then I was completely fine the day after. I've heard from some people that the second dose have absolutely just like knocked them off their feet, which is, you know, I'm not going to say it's worrying, it's like to be expected, and it's definitely a worthy trade of, you know, being ill for a day compared to contracting potentially a fatal disease. But, you know, it's good. Amusingly, I had it quite early compared to a lot of my first dose, quite early compared to a lot of friends, but a few of my other friends had the second dose before me, which is, you know, fine. I don't want to frame it as if I'm like complaining about that sort of thing, because I'm not. It was just like surprising, I suppose. Okay, we have no more room in our inventory. So I guess we'll pass by Claude's house. You might give us an item. Do we have weeds in our inventory already? Oh, I nearly just opened that because I thought it was a present. We can't make Lily upset. She's our bestest friend. But yeah, we'll go say hi to Apollo. We'll probably move his house up to where it should be as well. And then, yeah, we'll sort of go about that business. It seems probably potentially quite rude to move his house immediately after he's moved in, but still. But yeah, the second dose I'll be coming in today. You might ask, what do I feel about injections? Are you, like, worried about syringes? I have no inventory space. A deer decoration. Sure do. Okay, do you even give us a recipe if you... Your pockets are too full. Come back later and I'll set you up. Sure. Claude, I want to give you this present from Lily. This seems like an oversight, Nintendo. But still. Sorry, you might... Did I just say silent there for like 50 seconds or whatever? You might say... actually, that's something else I'm going to comment on afterwards. Oh, quiet going on. What do I think about injections and syringes, that sort of thing? Am I scared of them? No, not really. In fact, I'm not even one step over from like just being neutral about them. I watch them as they like plug it in. I find it fascinating in some, not like, it's not even a morbid way because it's not like related to death or anything. Just to me, it's just fine. I guess I'm not selling new things. It's probably on Sunday then they're selling new things. So I'll time travel on the first day to try and just like check out what new things they've got going on. Golden seat, I don't remember. No, we definitely have a golden seat. Come on. You think I don't have a golden seat recipe by this point? Yeah, I'll check out on Sunday exactly what's going on in the new update, and we'll just see. We'll see if there's anything fancy going on there, and if not, then so be it. Okay, customize his stuff with shovel. I've done none of them apparently. That makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I'm not really bothered by injections, that sort of thing, syringes, blood tests, vaccinations, that sort of thing. And I know that the doctors, the dentists never really scared me, as other people do. I've never really been that apprehensive about it, about the whole, you know, like situation to go visit them, I suppose, like the actual procedure or anything like that. If anything, I find it incredibly dull and boring, especially with dentists. You know, you just like sit down, open your mouth, and then, you know, we just like look at your teeth or whatever, and I just zone out for basically like however long we do it for. And you have my sympathies if you are afraid of the dentist or doctor for whatever reason or whatever the case may be. You know, I'm not trying to belittle your issues or anything like that. I'm just recounting my own personal experiences, just very nonchalant, I suppose, about that sort of thing. But I suppose I tend to have rather subdued reactions to most things, so perhaps that's not too surprising. So yeah, what happened? I I guess I'll give you my feedback for it tomorrow. If there's even an episode tomorrow, it's entirely possible I might be too ill and won't be able to record something. In which case, maybe I'll do something like a silent episode, which kind of seems counter to the point, because I feel like the whole point of these episodes is the fact I'm talking throughout all of them. But I don't know, maybe I'll think of something if I feel too ill to talk, but hopefully that won't be the case. It's just what I've heard that some people have been knocked off their feet by the second dose, even if it didn't feel much on the first dose. And, you know, I'm well prepared for that situation. Or, well, I'm mentally prepared, I suppose. I mean, it's not like I'm... Well, I guess I am physically prepared. I mean, I have, a bed prepared, I suppose, which I can lie in. Prepared sounds wrong. I mean, it's just like, it's not like I've done anything special, particularly. The bed just exists and is still there. And, you know, that's what you're meant to do when you're ill. You sort of, like, get a load of rest or whatever, you know. Day off school, that sort of thing. Which, now I think about it, it's not... I remember, sorry, this is about a really random thing, but I remember when swine flu was a thing way back when I was back in primary school. I got ill around the time that swine flu was a thing, and there was a big scare that I actually got swine flu. Whether it was swine flu or not, I'm not actually sure, because a lot of the effects I felt weren't nearly as severe as some people were describing it. So I remember some girl was on the news and she said when she got ill with it, like, there was a constant ringing in her ears, like she couldn't think straight, everything was like nauseating. When I was just like, I think I was just ill. Like, I was still pretty badly ill compared to usual. It wasn't just like, oh, in a casual influenza, but, you know, octopuses have 8 arms, you know what that means? 8 ice cream cones. What? Sorry about that little bit of a pause, but consider yourself truthed. I don't remember what I was talking about. It's probably something about the second injection. Was I talking about sick days or something? I don't remember. I don't know, sick days in school is a very exciting thing to have, I suppose. Well, exciting in some aspect of the word. I mean, like, I feel like when you're a kid, especially, you're just like, oh, I want to have a sick day. But it's not like I want to have a sick day. It's more like I don't want to go to school. And that sort of thing, which is, you know, fair. I mean, you do go to school for like 5 days a week from 9 to, I was going to say 9 to 5, that's not right, 9 to 3:30ish, is that about right? And of course, you know, you've got to add about like an hour either side to, you know, like get ready and eat breakfast in the morning and, you know, like come home. And then even if you've got after school activities, and then I guess it's more like 9 to 5. But, so it's understandable as a kid, maybe you don't want to go to school every single day. Sometimes you want a day off, that's, you know, fair. I guess that's kind of what the weekends are for. You know, in the UK we've got half terms and bank holidays and all that good stuff, which is a welcome break, I suppose, every now and then. It makes the holidays even more special. But, you know, I feel like, especially because, you know, kids don't... I'm not going to say I was going to be like kids don't appreciate school. That's not really what I mean, because, you know, some schools are, you know, just bad, and, you know, it's very understandable that kids don't want school. But especially as a kid, I suppose you have an overinflated negative view of school, when in situations it can be good. You know, your mileage may vary. I felt like I actually had a pretty good experience at school, but, you know, if you didn't, then, you know, fair enough. And I suppose it's a bit hypocritical, or not hypocritical per se, but ignorant, I suppose, of me to talk about school in such sweeping statements that as applies to everyone. But I'm just speaking from my own experience. School's pretty good, and it's just as a kid you just kind of want excuses just to go have fun and play, which is, you know, a pretty natural human reaction. I don't think it's even quenched in I'll say humans, adults either. Sweetheart, 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 have you ever had one of those days where something you say all the time doesn't sound quite right? Do we have a clever phrase we can come up for you? I'll find a way it is. Really, Canapé? No need to change it. But if you really think it suits me, then I shall embrace it rather than change it. Thank you, sweetheart. Mainly because I can't think of something else that give you. I feel like I've given you so many different, like, phrases now. I'm at the point where I'm just like, I don't know, Vivian, I'm kind of out of thematically suitable ones. I guess we could change it back from sweetheart to darling again, but still, that's something for the next time she asks for me to do. Yeah. I know, when you're a kid, you really like your sick days, you know, and day of school, and you don't have to do work. When really, you know, as you get older, it's sort of like our sick days are more inconvenient than they are convenient, because it's now instead of being, oh, it's a day where you can completely skip out on doing any sort of work, it's now you have to do twice the amount of work on a different day. So the sick, you know, when you're younger, you might be like, oh, you know, I've got a bit of a temperature, come on, hope it's high enough. And the parents are just like, oh, maybe you shouldn't go to school today, which you probably shouldn't anyway, because, you know, if you're ill, don't go to school, or don't go into a workplace, or for anything like that, because you know, you don't want to transmit that sort of illness to other people, especially if it's a contagious one like influenza. It's worth sacrificing your day off of work on school to make sure that 6 other people don't have a day off on work on school as well. Which, you know, should be how it works, but I understand the situation isn't always privy to that depending on your circumstance. I feel like I don't have to bake all these, like, obviously don't apply this to absolutely every single situation or take my word as gospel. And I feel like it's probably implied through what I say. And if not, and if people don't get that, then yeah, that's on them, I suppose. But yeah, it just ends up being more inconvenient, I suppose, the more days you take off of school, especially secondary school. I guess primary school, it doesn't really matter too much. You can catch up rather easily. And if you miss out just on one day, it's sort of like a no big deal in the end. And secondary school becomes a bigger problem, I suppose. Amelia, in a very awkward situation, over awkward location there, blocking completely off from Apollo's house. Yeah, I remember a friend of mine, he was ill basically for a huge swath of time back in secondary school or whatever. He missed out basically on nearly an entire half term, I think. I can't recall exactly why. Well, I say a friend, he was like a classmate, I suppose, but, you know, a friend at the time, but I wasn't, like, extraordinarily close to him or anything. It's just we shared a lot, like, nearly all our classes together just by happen chance. And I remember, I felt, like, so bad because it must have been so inconvenient of him, like, catching up, because since I shared so many classes with him, I shared basically all classes except for, like, some of his, like, Spanish or something. Like, I think he took Spanish and I did French or whatever. You know, it was around GCSE time. It must have been so inconvenient for him to catch up on, like, all the work, because I had sent him, like, all the work, which, you know, it's inconvenient for me, but it's not really that big of a deal, I'd say. And, like, I'd much rather do it than, you know, just be like, tough luck, guess you'll just have to miss out on all the schoolwork. But it was just so much work, the amount of stuff he probably had to catch up on and cram into just, like, his holidays or that sort of thing. You know, you spend, like, 4 weeks or something just being ill in hospital or something, and then you come out of it, and then now you just got, like, 4 weeks of schoolwork, which you now had to somehow catch up on, an assignment-wise, while you're just 4 weeks of knowledge behind everyone else. This is just a terrible situation all around. Of course, that's very much the extreme situation. I can't imagine it would apply to too many people. Too many people's experiences, but, you know, it happens. And it's just, I suppose, a testament to that there's a certain point in your life when, maybe that's a switch from being a child to more like being a teenager, is when sick days become something which is more of an inconvenience rather than a delight. I suppose that's when you start shouldering more responsibilities, and, you know, you don't have very many as a kid. You have, I mean, you're in the growing stages, the learning stages of your life. It's kind of expected that you shouldn't probably shoulder too many responsibilities when you're that young, but, you know, different circumstances and all that. Let's take a picture of Apollo, why not? Since he's moved in, we'll give him a bit of a greeting. This isn't his permanent place of residence, but I wonder if we can move him, despite him moving in just now. Howdy, dear. Welcome to my new abode. Yeah, apologies for the mess. I tell you to make stuff at home, but it looks like my home was hit by a moving truck. Gahaha. No need to worry. I'll get it straightened out up in no time. Pah. I think it's been ages since I've done a cranky voice. We haven't had a cranky villager for ages in our town, right? Island. Well, this ain't coming together like I hoped. Mind if I put this over there? Consarn it. Gah, how long you been standing there? Did you hear me just now? Well, this kind of stuff ain't normally on my wheelhouse, but don't you worry, I'll get there. You got it, Apollo. I have faith. You can do it. And we'll also move your house. I mean, might as well move your house now while you're moving in rather than doing it later when you've, you know, unpacked everything. You had to repack again. But I don't actually know if we can move this house or not, but that's what we'll try and get figured out. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like even when you're a kid, sick days aren't all that. It depends on your sickness. Or if you're down with a sickness or not. But I don't know. That's a terrible joke. Because if you have a sort of sickness, like a food poisoning sort of sickness, where you're just in bed, you can't do anything, you just want to sleep the entire time, that's not great. That's like doing nothing. The best type of illness is when you're ill, you got a fever, maybe you got a bit of a headache running on, but it's not too debilitating that you can't do nothing, or you can't do anything, I suppose. Oh, we can move Apollo's house. Apollo recently moved to his island. Perhaps it'd be in poor taste to ask him to relocate. We ought to let a little time pass before suggesting the idea, don't you think? Well, why didn't you let me move his house yesterday before he moved in, Tom Nook? What have you got to say about yourself or that, huh? 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 You didn't want me to move his house now, and you let me move his house before. Animal Crossing. But yeah, sorry, that was just a weird. There's no other way about it. Yeah, sick days. I don't know. I'm trying to remember my sick days. Yeah, the best ones are when you're not too ill and you're basically well enough that you can play video games, but not ill enough that you can't do other stuff. Discord message, is this important? No, it's not, is what I can say to that. So ignore it from now on. I'm trying to remember, because I feel like it's really common in, especially in like media for like TV shows which involve children, especially kids sort of TV shows. I especially remember a scene from like Malcolm in the Middle, that sort of thing, where it feels very common where they Penelope Aloha shirt. That actually seems pretty nice to me. On you, I mean. I'm not sure about the colour choice, but yeah, you do, man, or whatever it says. Yeah, dude, man. I don't know what you said. No, what was I saying? Yeah, well, you're well enough where you can like play video games or watch TV or that sort of thing. You can still actively activate your brain through recreational means, you know? Too well to do work, but well enough to do recreational stuff. That's what it's all about, you know? But that's where it's at. But to be fair, I don't think I had all that many sick days from school. I remember some, like one of them. One sick day I had was because I had like chicken pox or something, which is quite common when you're young. Just have chicken pox and then, you know, obviously you don't go into school because I believe that is contagious if I recall. Oh man, that's actually a chickenpox story. I should tell someday, but I don't really remember it all that well. So, but that's our future episode. Why do we have so many things in our inventory? When did this happen? Just go. I guess we should drop it off. Oh, we need to help Gulliver. I forgot to use our visitor for today. Okay, we'll put stuff away and we'll go help Gulliver. Yeah, I didn't have all that. Oh no, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about like in Malcolm Middle and media and like television. It's very common for kids to like try and weasel their way out of school by taking like a sick day or feigning illness or that sort of thing. I can say I never did that sort of thing. Perhaps unsurprisingly, because I didn't like to do that sort of thing. You know, didn't like to lie. Didn't like to fake illness and that sort of thing. It crossed my mind certainly when I was younger, but I could never bring myself to do it. And plus, I don't think I'd be all that great at lying in the first place. To actually put it off, I'd probably like feel so guilty about it that I'd end up admitting it in the first place. So yeah, but is this on Malcolm in the Middle? I don't know if I'm making this up or not, but there's a scene I feel like I remember where they're holding like these glass thermometers up to a light bulb to try and, you know, simulate a fever, I suppose, and have it go really hot. And then, like, as soon as their mum starts coming in, they stick the thermometer in the mouth to be like, oh no, I can't go to school. Look, I've got a fever. Except for, you know, I think the mother makes a joke or something. It's like, well, looks like you're faking your illness. And we go like, what? How did you know? It's like, well, unless you suddenly got a fever of like 100 degrees Celsius. Well, I guess it'd be in Fahrenheit, wouldn't it? In 230 degrees Fahrenheit. Is that right? I don't quite recall what the conversion is from Celsius to Fahrenheit off the top of my head. Something like divide by 9 times 5, add 32. Something along those lines. I can't recall. But yeah, unless you had this absurdly high degree. And I suddenly just had a realisation that I'm trying to retell a joke from a TV show while also not remembering it properly. But anyway, I remember seeing that being like, I wonder if I can pull that off. Did I try and put it off? No. Because, you know, I suppose I knew a little bit better and realised that light bulbs that have been on for a while are kind of hot. Kind of don't want to touch them. Especially if you've been conducting class like that for ages. And plus, the ones we have, we didn't have those like glass in the mouth thermometers. We have them like the digital under the armpit ones. Well, I suppose where you, I mean, I guess you could put them in your mouth, but like, I don't know, under the armpit always felt more reasonable than not. But now I think about it, there's a load of those like weird body temperature thermometers. I remember we had like a lesson back in primary school about them, like just learning how to use them. We had like, I think we had from Math 1, I don't know. I don't really recall. But the one I distinctly remember is like this. It's like this black strip and it's got like 5 circles on the front, and each one represents like a temperature from like 32 up to like 37 degrees. No, that doesn't sound right. So 35 up to 40? or something, and you want to like hold it up to your forehead and that sort of thing, and depending on like which like circle lit up, it would tell you like what your temperature was, or the temperature of your forehead, I suppose, which is a pretty reasonable estimator for the temperature of your entire body, as I understand it. I remember that being really cool, and I was like, whoa, how does this work? I suppose it's like a litmus test for temperatures for the human body. Excuse me, manila clams. I don't really appreciate you clogging up my inventory when I don't really want you. Oh, are they chatting? Hey Mira, you, me, game, right now, based. You ready? No, Rowan, I'm busy. I can't just drop everything to play it. Hold up, did you just say based? Oh, yeah, I say that time. Mira again, stealing someone else's catchphrase. How does this happen every single time? This isn't even the first time I swear you've stolen based from Rowan. Isn't... That's like the second time, at least. I feel like I've had that exact conversation before, but honestly can't recall. But no, oh yeah, no, I remember it so clearly in my mind because I was like, this is such a cool formato. Like, I suppose because my exposure... Excuse me, manila clam. Have you seen a rusted part around here? I remember being so interested in it because I was just like, I don't understand how this works. Honestly, I still don't. I assume it's something to do with there's like chemicals in that tube or something, and they react to heat slightly differently depending on the amount of heat, and then they have some sort of other chemical which reacts with it to make a colour. Well, I suppose it can't react with it because it's not a one-time use, unless it's like it's one of those equilibrium reactions, in which case I suppose it could be. Don't know, it's been a while since I've done some chemistry, so it's not really at the forefront of my knowledge, shall we say. I remember it being really cool and everyone just having a grand old time, like seeing the temperature of everyone. You know? I mean, everyone's temperatures were relatively normal because none of them were ill. And I remember because it went up to 40 degrees, and I remember thinking at the time, being like, wow, whose body temperature goes up to 40 degrees? And I suppose if you have a very extreme fever, it could very easily get that high. I'd never had anything that bad. Probably maxed out around 38.06 degrees. Celsius, that is. Don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I'm sure you can Google it though. That's probably like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, is my guess. That sounds like a reasonable approximation. I just remember 0 degrees Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit, and 40 is 100. And minus 40 is also minus 40. And with that, I just make all my estimations based on that sort of sliding scale. Is it most accurate? No, not really, but you know, it's neither here nor there. It's not very often in England where I need a particularly good estimate of a weather in Fahrenheit. I don't know, do I have anything else to say about sick days? Not really. Except for cowpole, you know. Cowpole tastes pretty good. I'm not the only one who thinks that. Is cowpole just a UK thing? It might be, because I think America's got Pepto-Bismol, doesn't it? Maybe that's tasty as well. I don't really know, but I know in UK at least, and probably in America as well, probably in many countries, we have like this cough syrup. I don't know why I said that so weirdly. Cough syrup thing called cowpole, which you're meant to use to... I think it's just a cough syrup. I think it's just meant to be if you got a cough or whatever. You're meant to use it to soothe your throat or that sort of thing. For some reason, it tastes so absurdly sweet. Because, to be fair, it is kids' medicine. Kids don't usually take medicine, or don't want to take medicine, unless it tastes nice, I suppose. Or I suppose it tastes nice to help those picky kids who won't take it if it's not nice tasting. But me, myself, I personally have taken a lot of very bitter tasting medicines, you know, like Chinese herbal remedies or that sort of thing were quite a common thing, this especially bitter drink, I remember. For sore throat, which I don't know if it helps or not, but it was rather soothing, so even if it's a placebo is still a noticeable effect and that sort of thing. Yeah, I guess that's the only thing. Cowpole tastes kind of nice, I guess. Oh, I can't exactly recommend you like drink cowpole recreationally as a drink. That sounds like a terrible idea. Perhaps just save it for when you got a sore or hoarse throat, or whatever other situations you're meant to use cowpole for. I don't really know. I'm not a doctor. I haven't seen cowpole for ages. We just saw paracetamol, ibuprofen, and what's the other one? There's another one, but I can't remember. Aspirin, I guess, but it somehow doesn't seem right in my head. That's what we got nowadays. I guess we'll just we get rid of these manila clams, things we don't want them. And I guess I'll put the stuff away tomorrow because we're running out of time today. Sorry, my eyes are a bit itchy. But yeah, I know, sick days. Maybe might take my own sick day tomorrow. I suppose you just have to wait and see. Maybe I'll announce it on the Discord. Maybe on Twitter. I don't know. I haven't used Twitter for ages, and I need to post a thumbnail art. Have I posted my thumbnail arts on previous ones? I don't recall. I'll check later. But yeah, I'll be having my second dose later today. Hopefully it all goes well. Hopefully, if you haven't had yours first or second, you'll have them soon. But yeah, I guess I'll tell you about it tomorrow if I'm here. But if not, maybe a couple of days after, we'll find out. But anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord down below and follow me on Twitter. I hope we can see each other again, but for now it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.